So opening weekend's finally upon us. Oh, Doctor Baseball's back, baby.
Thank goodness.
Oh, it's been a while. It's going to go pretty quickly, probably too. So let's get to our thoughts on opening weekend. So was it fair or foul?
Totally fair for me, my friend. It was highly entertaining opening week of the season. There's plenty more to come, plenty more events happening. Tremendous start for certain teams, and others are still trying to get their feet wet. Some of my highs that I found during the week, Shane Bieber, he had an historic 14 strikeout day on opening day. The most in 24 years, actually.
That's incredible.
He was unbelievable.
All the great pitchers there are in baseball, and he's no one's got 14 strikeouts. That's crazy.
Yes, unbelievable start to Shane Bieber. He was actually one strikeout away from the all-time record set by Camilo Pascual of the Washington Senators in 1960. This kid certainly is going places, absolutely. And you can rest assured that he is the only Bieber that we can all be proud of.
Baby, stop that, please.
Justin who? Another one of my highs was Miguel Cabrera, my boy. Surpassed Adrian Beltre for 30th in the home runs all-time list. 477 now and counting in his career.
Oh, it's almost at 500. 13 more.
Oh, yes, for sure.
23 more.
Yeah, definitely. I think he can probably reach that with no fans, especially, and if he stays healthy. He can sure be a first ballot Hall of Famer for sure when he retires. Definitely a great legend in our game. Some of my lows, the Arizona Diamondbacks had a dreadful start to the year. They've been outscored so far by the Padres 12-3 in their series at Petco Park. You know what? They got to get their act together. I mean, Madison Bumgarner had a good decent start, but Robbie Ray was a bit shelled in game 2. And the Orioles getting shelled as well by the Red Sox. I know it is early, but their year doesn't look very promising.
They came back and shellacked Red Sox the next day. So you never know, right?
Yeah, we'll never know.
Red Sox pitching staff's not very good, so
absolutely, it might be a toss-up for them this year. So we just have to see where they finish.
Yeah, I mean, opening day for me was pretty cool. We watched the game together. We missed, unfortunately, Fauci's foul first pitch.
Foul,
man, opening weekend was 100% fair. Like it was so fun, even without the fans. Like I understand every team's pumped in crowd noise, so it does kind of give you that feel of that there's people there. Because we've watched a lot of games, especially in Tampa, where there's nobody there, and like, you just hear the murmur of some of the fans or whatever. But it still doesn't stop the intensity of the players. Like they're still going out there trying to win and. Like Garrett Cole had a phenomenal first start. Fortunately, it was rained out, so we didn't get to see him and Scherzer finish off the game against each other. But definitely lives up to expectations. I'm sure Yankee fans were burning their jerseys after the first batter he faced with Adam Eaton, where he just gave up a home run in his first batter as a Yankee. But then he settled down and looked pretty sharp. But everyone's saying he's always the best pitcher in baseball. I disagree. I think Jacob DeGrom is. I mean, I don't know if you saw DeGrom versus Soroka, and oh my God, that's a pitching duel for like mid-season form.
I did see that. It was tremendous.
He's definitely the best pitcher for me in the last few years. I don't know why he doesn't get as much love, but even like plays in a big market. The best moment probably was Lightning striking Rob Manfred during his interview. The baseball gods have spoken, Rob. They are not happy with you. So we're gonna ruin this interview and ruin the first game of the season. The one thing I noticed also, I realized the DH rule really works, and people need to understand how stupid it is that pitchers are hitting. Like, you know how many scenarios it came to where instead of the ninth batter came up to bat wasn't a pitcher, and they had a chance to score some runs and actually do something? If people think that they still need pitchers hitting, they're living in the dark ages. They need to move on. The same thing goes with the extra innings rule. I really loved it. Like some of the games were exciting. I mean, my Angels got shellacked with a grand slam in the first ever extra innings rule game. But you know what? The games end quicker. Like there's less pitching changes. There's less wear and tear on the pitching staffs, especially when they play like day games after night games. You know how much this is going to mean to managers. I mean, look, guys like Mike Clevenger are going to sit there and complain about sacrifice bunts and sac flies winning games. What's the difference between that happening in the 12th inning and the 9th inning? You know how many games end 1-0 with the sac fly being the only run? Who cares? It's sports, people. Get over it. Anything can happen. It's supposed to be fun. I mean, it's not serious. Like, stop these traditional methods of playing games. Like, I mean, honestly, like, everyone needs to wake up and stop living in the prehistoric era. I mean, opening weekend was amazing. It's just like the NHL's 3-on-3 format. It's exciting. Once you get to extra innings now, I guarantee you if there are fans there, they'd all get excited because they already know there's a man in scoring position instead of sitting there waiting until 17 innings with 100 pitching changes and nothing happening. People leave the ballpark. People tune out of television. I mean, it's a win-win, this rule. I really hope they move it going forward. Speaking of new rules, the MLB's implemented the new playoff format, which is something that is really creative, actually. It's more creative than I actually thought. So basically, let's break it down. It's 8 teams in each league will make the playoffs. So just like NBA and NHL. And the top 2 teams in each division make the playoffs. And then the next 2 teams with the best record also make the playoffs. So it's seeding. It's 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, and on and on. The first round is the best of 3. All 3 games being played at home for the division winners. So that's basically their reward for winning the division, which is good because I know everyone's worried about, what about rewarding people a long season winning the division. So to have 3 straight games at home, I mean, yeah, it's a short series, but it's probably better for pitching and the weather and that kind of thing once you get to October. I give this 100% fair. It's about time they change these rules along with DH and extra innings. What are your thoughts? Fair or foul?
Definitely fair for me. I think the playoff format is absolutely genius. It's a gold mine. It gives other teams the opportunity to compete in the game. Like the market is growing in baseball, and I think it's time to get out of the dark ages. You are correct. To let other teams participate in this. You know what? Like, we always talk about the first and second wild cards every year. You know what? I think this just changes everything. It's a great like, it's always going to be a toss up. It's always going to be competitive, vying for a playoff spot. So I think this is great. The DH rule is great as well, and it's like really time to get out of the dark ages for sure.
Like, I mean, the union and MLB squabbles over the last few months had to do a lot with money, right? And you know what makes you money? Winning more playoff teams. Like, I don't understand how they don't get that process of more teams that are in contention and get a chance to play in July and August with fans in the stands because they still think they have a chance to win. It's been proven in other sports. I don't understand why it's taken so long for them to figure that out. Because the more teams you have playing, the more people come into the ballparks, the more they make money off the concession stands and all the ticket sales, the more TV and ad revenue you get, especially with more teams in the playoffs, more exposure. It's a win-win for the players and the teams and the league. We really have to keep this going. I mean, if this is a one and done season, baseball is going to continue to detract and continue to lose grassroots because all the minor league teams, there's a reason minor league teams have been dissolved now because at the grassroots level, if you're in a small market team like Kansas City or whatever, Detroit, if your team's constantly losing, no one's going to care about baseball in that city. No one's going to kids aren't going to play it in that city. And then you're going to lose minor league baseball, and that's it. All you're going to have is the major leagues. And one day might be 10 teams in Major League Baseball and all in the big markets because baseball doesn't give a crap. So they need a salary cap. They need to keep more playoff teams, keep the DH rule and extra innings. They need to continue what they're doing in this shortened 60-game season because right now it's looking really fair. It's been exciting. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. So, yeah, the Blue Jays officially playing in Salem Field, formerly known as Coca-Cola Field. Boy, Coca-Cola really screwed up on the opportunity to have their name constantly blurted out on television. Not that they need all the exposure, but, I mean, come on. Salem's like, whoa, got a huge marketing opportunity now. But, yeah, Blue Jays finally found a home after Pittsburgh, Baltimore rejected them. I had a feeling they'd end up in Baltimore because, Baltimore's not crying for some attention, so – I think it's fair. I know they're working on the lighting system there for television purposes. Fair or foul?
You know what? I got to get a foul for this one. The governor of Connecticut and the mayor of Hartford actually offered the Blue Jays their stadium over there, the Dunkin' Donuts Park in Hartford, where the Hartford Yard Goats AA minor league team plays. You know what? I've seen the stadium. I've seen it in the news and some pictures of their ballpark. It is absolutely like a gorgeous minor league ballpark.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
award-winning.
spectacular. Like,
It looks spectacular and award-winning, and I thought that the Jays would prefer to play in that kind of a park where they could be comfortable in the clubhouse and the dugout. I thought it was a pretty nice option for the Jays to consider playing in Hartford. It's not a long drive to New York City to play the Yankees or in Boston. Like very close distance for to those two cities, and I thought Hartford would have been a nice option, but I'm glad that the Jays are they have a home at least to play in Buffalo.
yeah, I mean, I don't know why they didn't play in Hartford. I'm not sure what happened there, but it is definitely look like a really spectacular ballpark. I mean, Salem Field's not bad. It's a retro looking ballpark, so it might actually look cool on television because we don't see many old school ballparks. But we'll have to see what the Buffalo Blue Jays do in the future.